Well, Leon is a very colorful character. He was down in New Orleans, and he went out to one of the nightclubs, and he had a freaky deaky contest, which was a dance. And Leon danced with about 30 girls, and this was about a week before his fight. So he is a character. One time he went down into the ghetto and was like cleaning fish with a lot of his friends.
Okay, and now you see Ivy Brown, Poison Ivy Brown, he likes to call himself. There's his record in front of you, 27-11 with 15 knockouts. He's from Kansas City, 31 years old. And of course, to Ivy, this is a chance of a lifetime. Let's go to the ring announcer, Frank Shane.
10 rounds in the cruiserweight division. In the blue corner, wearing red trunks trimmed with white stripes. He weighed in at 192.5 pounds. He hails from Kansas City, Missouri. Here is Poison Ivy Brown. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing blue trunks trimmed with white, weighed in at 194 pounds. He is a former Olympic gold medalist, former World Boxing Council heavyweight champion from Detroit, Michigan. Here he is, Leon Spinks. Spinks.
Crowd loves him.
10 rounds.
Oh,
the
yes.
referee in the ring at this time, Larry Hazard, counting for the knockdowns at the bell. Referee Rudy Battle.
Okay, there's your tail of the tape. You can see Leon a couple of years younger there, 3 years to be exact. The weight, I don't think is a factor. The height, I don't really believe that's a factor either. The reach now, Spinks has 3 inches in reach, and I think that's probably the most important factor here. And of course, Leon hasn't had that many fights as a professional, but he certainly fought the best. Look at the intense look on his face. We have to tell you that this, of course, the scoring will be the 5-point must system here, and it will be by rounds. The 5-point must is supplemental. The winner of the round, of course, gets the round, and it's by round, so that's the way it goes here. No problem there. 2 judges and the referee do the scoring. No standing 8 count, by the way. The referee, of course, is Larry Hazard, and he's a terrific referee and a principal of a local high school here, and we've watched him in fights before. He is outstanding, and you'll see what I mean momentarily. Here we go. Leon Spinks, Ivy Brown, 10 rounds, cruiserweight. Leon's first fight in this division. Of course, Ivy told us he tried to move away and stay away from Leon in the early going. And that's exactly the way he's come out. Nothing bothers Leon in the ring.
Leon is very pure, Bob. Very pure individual, very natural, down to earth. Comes to fight, he fights. He doesn't care what his opponent is going to do.
He's doing the job, too. He's cutting him off in the corners, and his hands look very, very quick. Leon not going crazily wild, looking for his shots, looking for his opportunity. Ivy Brown really trying to stay away. You don't need me to tell you that, really, but this is what he told me he was going to do, so it's not that he's afraid of him. This is his strategy. But Leon with a quick lightning left.
It's a lot of movement for a cruiserweight, Bob.
Sure is.
I don't think he can keep this up.
He can't keep it up, Jim. We both know that. He doesn't know it, though. And Leon, I think, will try to ensure that. But let's find out how good Ivy Brown is. 27-11. It isn't exactly chopped liver, and he just caught the former champion again. Leon hasn't landed anything at this point. Just did then.
Get him up, Leon.
Leon caught him with both the left and the right. Brown could make a mistake trying to mix it with the Leon here. He's going to stay with his strategy. Jab and stay away from him. He's not doing it now.
It's very difficult to do that with Leon, Bob. Leon is like a guy that you either got to kill him or he's going to kill you. It's just no way to really stay away from him.
This could be the weight division for him because he looks great. Just missed scoring with a real heavy right hand there. Closing seconds now. Coming up inside of 20 seconds. through. Leon works downstairs with the left.
Bring him up. Come on, bring him up.
This, of course, is his most prestigious fight. Knows what he has to do. He's got to stay away from Spinks until Spinks runs out of a bit of steam. And as Jimmy Brown pointed out in round one, a difficult thing to do. More or less a slip there. Oh, Leon caught him with a good flush right hand that time. Brown has lost the movement already. He's going to be in deep trouble if he doesn't get moving. He can't fight with this guy inside, Jim.
He's in trouble now, Bob. He's in trouble now.
Leon caught him with a vicious left hook that time. Leon set him up with shots downstairs. Another left hook. Leon's fully alert, missing the big blows thrown by Poison Ivy Brown. And he's in deep trouble now, because the Poison's in the fifth of the former heavyweight champion of the world. Oh, a vicious left hook again, Jimmy. Leon's unleashed some vicious shots, but Brown hasn't been off his feet yet. This is round two, scheduled for 10. Can't keep up this pace as Brown tries to fight back.
Right now, Bob, it's all about fatigue. Right now, Bob, it's a matter of if Leon can finish it off. If Ivy sticks it out, we're going to have a fight.
If Leon can get back to that body again, but Ivy's a tough cookie. He has not been off his feet. Leon, I thought, had the great strategy when he was hitting him and trying to set up downstairs, Jim, but then he got away from that and went headhunting again.
Well, it's really not that, Bob. You see, there's only so much stamina you have. After you punch so much and your opponent don't go down, then you have to rejuvenate yourself.
And he rejuvenated with a good right hand.
Right.
Ivy has lost that movement, though, and it's going to cost him problems. There's no doubt about it. He can't stand toe-to-toe with this guy. Coming up to 25 seconds. The people here at the Playboy Hotel and Casino love it. They can say what they want about Leon Spinks, but he comes to put on a show. The people that wanted a boxing show, they've got it. There's Leon Spinks. Jimmy, the key thing that I think you pointed out in the entire second round was fatigue. Look at Leon, the way he's trying to just suck that oxygen in.
Well, you see, Leon has always given it everything he's had. Ever since Montreal, he came out and he knocked the Cuban down when he was totally tired. Now he has to deal with strategy. His manager should allow him to rejuvenate himself, take it easy, and then go into the onslaught again.
In other words, you would think that he needs a kind of a cruising round. Ivy Brown, again, has not been off his feet. He's been hit with everything that Leon can throw, but he hasn't been down. This kid's tough, too.
Yes, he is.
Round three. Let's see what Poison Ivy can do. At age 31 in the cruiserweight division, he's got to do something to turn things around, and it looks like he's on his way to turning it around a bit here anyway. There's those body shots. Three real good body shots. The uppercut missed, and a fourth just right to the midsection. You could see his whole kidney area shake when he was hit, Jim. What's the biggest problem for Leon to drop down to this division? Is it stamina? What is it when he's fighting lighter people now?
Well, actually, basically, Leon has to be in great shape. He's that kind of fighter. He's not a technician. He's a guy that comes out, he slugs. The weight should help him because he should have a lot of stamina at this weight because it's his natural weight.
Jim, what a right hand Poison Ivy just took. So you think dropping down will help him? No hindrance at all as far as stamina is concerned with these lighter guys.
Definitely.
I'd almost be inclined to agree with James the way things are going now. As he is some kind of dishing some punishment on Brown. Again, we're in round 3 of a scheduled 10-round cruiserweight fight. Neither fighter has been down. Leon Spinks really kind of caught up with Ivy Brown in the second round and has put out more punishment than Brown has in round 3. But Brown is a tough cookie. He's taken the best shots that Leon Spinks could throw and hasn't been off his feet. Again, I go back to what we said earlier, Jim. No movement at all now by Poison Ivy Brown.
No, because he's been slugging, Bob. It's now a slugfest. It's not movement now, stamina.
You know, these look like fighters that were in about the 7th or 8th round, and we're only in the 3rd round.
Very dangerous for either fighter to go at this pace.
Oh, good right hand, caught him again. There he is, setting it up downstairs again. Somebody in the corner must have told him to work back to that body again.
Yes, it is.
All right, here we are in round 4. Poison Ivy Brown from Kansas City. 27-11 with 15 KOs against Leon Spinks. 10-3-2. Not that many fights, but you all know just about everything there is to know about Leon Spinks. Now fighting as a cruiserweight.
Now the strategy from Leon's corner is to jab, to move a little bit, to get himself together, and I think that's very wise.
Yeah, I think he should stay up and kind of cruise a little bit through a round and then maybe go head hunting and again work back to that body. I think that was a strategy coming out in the 3rd round, but it kind of got away from him because Ivy really started putting the hurt.
Yeah, Ivy did put the pressure on him.
Coming into the fight, Ivy Brown's strategy was to stick and move, stay off of Spinks, and it's been certainly the pace of the fight has been controlled by Leon.
Except the last round, Ivy came out slugging.
He sure did. At this stage, where 181 amateur fights and being an Olympic gold medalist and all of that sort of stuff can come into play. All that experience and all those rounds of fighting can play its part for Leon Spinks because he only had 15 professional fights. Leon, of course, in the blue trunks. Ivy Brown in the red trunks.
They're both very happy right now to get a little breather. Because fatigue is more scary than the other fighter.
I think for any heavyweight, fatigue is definitely the enemy, too. And these for Leon dropping down and having to perhaps have a little bit faster pace than you would against another heavyweight. You know, these things are being evaluated right now as we watch them.
Well, if he dropped his weight and then trained back up, then of course it would be much better than just dropping down and then fighting.
Closing seconds now, round 4. Leon really trying to get after him now, but it has been more or less a cruising round for both fighters. We'll see a faster pace in round 5, I'm sure. Brown back here at the Playboy Hotel and Casino. You're watching what I'd have to say a real exciting, fast-paced cruiserweight fight featuring this man, Leon Spinks, the former heavyweight champion of the world, against Poison Ivy Brown, who has proven to be some tough cookie in the early going here, coming up to the midway point in this cruiserweight fight, Jim.
Ivy said he was going to surprise everybody, and he has, because I think that everybody thought that this man was not going to put up this kind of fight. But he's done a tremendous job.
Here we go, round 5. Let's see if the pace picks up too, Jim. We call last round a bit more of a cruising round. It had to slow down at some point. It couldn't keep the pace. It was going.
It's going to be strategy now, Bob. They both have respect for each other. So it's now going to turn into a different kind of fight.
Brown back to his old strategy as we saw in the first round, and his pre-fight strategy. Try to move, stick, and stay away from Leon. Don't let him maul you.
They're both trying to come back from father fatigue. And it's lucky that they're both tired.
Ivy's got through the first 3 punches so far in this 5th round. Leon thus far hasn't been able to score one. Thus far, neither fighter has been off his feet to this point. About a minute gone here in the 5th round.
A little swelling around Leon's eye, Bob. That could be a factor.
He keeps throwing right hands like that one. It won't be a
You're
factor.
absolutely right.
That one hurt downstairs. Halfway through the round. Now Ivy's back to his plotting tactics again. This is what I think will, you know, if he continues to do this, he's going to get in trouble. Unless, of course, fatigue takes over.
Well, Bob, sometimes you have to do what you have to do, you know. If you get weak, you cannot dance.
Under a minute to go in round number 5.
You see, stamina is usually why a fighter, when he gets hurt, he starts fighting harder, because he can't run, he has to fight.
Seconds to go in the round. Jimmy, I'm going to ask you, please. I know you're a friend and with Leon Spinks. Are you pleased with what you see in this weight classification?
Well, yes, I'm very pleased because Leon is in good condition. He's using his head. He's giving the people a great show. And that's all you can really ask.
We're almost out of time here. That's it. Leonard and Spinks brothers and all of those fellas that came along at the Olympic time there, he couldn't go to the Olympics because he didn't have the money, which is kind of a shame for Ivy Brown. And he lost in the AAUs to Leon in the semifinals down in Louisiana.
All right, let's go down there. Step back, step back. Come on back. Right hand, 2 left hooks. Right hand, 2 left hooks.
Jimmy, a good friend of ours just sat down, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, who certainly wants to get another shot at the title and is fighting here in Atlantic City in just a couple of weeks. Eddie, what do you think of what you see in the ring so far?
Well, I think Leon will be cruiserweight champion of the world within a few months. I like what I see. Leon's moving and turning and left hooking and working his punches precise. He's slowing down the pace and working them right to preciseness.
You see right now that he's just decided to pick up the pace, and he is hitting Poison Ivy with everything in there. Referee Larry Henn says, don't hang on, keep him free. Those body punches, those uppercuts that the television audience really can't see are really punishing, I think, to the body of Poison Ivy.
Very true, but Poison Ivy, he takes those punches and he comes back, and that can get scary, Bob.
Conditioning, Jim, you've mentioned it so many times again. Hey, these two guys came to fight. means an awful lot to Ivy Brown, who was defeated by Leon in the amateurs one time. Never dreaming, of course, that Spinks would become a champion and heavyweight champion. And for Leon, it's his whole career at this new weight level.
Ivy mentioned earlier that he felt privileged to fight Leon because of the recognition he would get by beating Leon Spinks.
Again, you can't be saved by the bell, except in the closing round here. Of course, the bell signifies the end of the fight. There's no 3 knockdown rule in New Jersey. Neither fighter has been off his feet, and both fighters are giving 100% and then some. Is Ivy coming back a bit now? Talked about his lack of movement, but he's doing all right now. Caught Leon with a left. Doesn't seem to have the power as the bell ends round number 6. Of course, the big story, we talked to Larry Holmes earlier. He's not worried about facing this Jerry Cooney coming up later on. Of course, coming up in June on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. It's going to be the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Just some of the action. You'll see it coming up. Here it is. Undefeated Larry Holmes puts his perfect 39-0 record on the line against Jerry Cooney. This is the fight that has it all. A boxer against the puncher. Youth against age. A proven champion against a challenger that has punished every opponent he's faced to date. Will Jerry Cooney meet that challenge, or will Larry Holmes become a boxing legend on this, the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network? Look at Cooney. He's unbelievable. Now watch Larry. Whoa, Ernie Chavis knew that one. We're back live at the Playboy Hotel and Casino, waiting for round number 7 to get underway. Leon Spinks and Poison Ivy Brown. A much better fight than we ever dreamed, Jim.
Tremendous fight.
You know, 4, 5, and 6 are kind of tough rounds to score. You know, we had Leon perhaps out in front in the early going, but 4, 5, and 6, we're going to have to leave that one to the 2 judges and referee. What's your opinion on that, Jim?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's very difficult to score. You have to really be a professional judge. I think this round, we're going to see a little strategy. They're going to feel each other out, jab, and I think at some point late in the round, one of the 2 are going to start slugging again.
They both have been putting out so much. They need to kind of rejuvenate their body by catching that deep breath of getting that second wind, and that can happen sometime along this stage, 7th or 8th round. The Poison Ivy trying to do what his pre-fight strategy was again, hit and don't get hit, hit and move. Stay off of this space. Try to wear him down. But Leon has put everything out, and he's not wearing down to this point.
No, he's in tremendous shape. And what I like about him is that he is fighting a smart fight. He's evidently listening to his corner.
Yeah, I think the days of being a bullheaded young kid and just coming out and being a street fighter just don't work in the professional ring. Guys are too slick.
Too many good fighters, yes, Glenn.
And this Ivy Brown's an excellent example of that. You just can't bully him over. He's hit him with everything, and he hasn't dumped him yet. You know, Jim, I get some opinions on this cruiserweight division and all these divisions that are broken up a bit. I think it's super for boxing. You have more champions, more championship fights. It gives a guy the opportunity like a Spinks to drop down to this level where, look at him now, he's really cooking in there. If he's fighting the heavyweight division, he's a super fighter. His career would be over at the heavyweight level. He got killed by Larry Holmes, and that would end it. But this opens up a whole new opportunity for talented athletes.
Well, my whole opinion is that a fighter should be able to fight at his best weight. And when a fighter fights at his best weight, he can give us a good show, and that's what I like about it.
Of course, at the lighter weights, it's so hard to either put on or lose a pound or two here for the, the featherweights and the real lightweights. But at this level here, there's a big difference between a heavyweight at 176 and one at 220. They don't belong in the same
Well,
range.
age is a factor. The older you get, the harder it is to lose weight. So consequently, it opens up more avenues if you deal from age, if you deal in lighter weights. It really opens up more avenues regardless.
Which is great for the sport. It keeps the good guys around perhaps longer. Who knows? It could end a guy like Duran's career, too.
Definitely.
As you look into the corner now of Leon Spinks, he's a tired fighter. But certainly to goodness, he's put out everything he's had, and the pace has been phenomenal. Actually, he was just as fatigued back in the third round, and where he's got the energy to go through 4, 5, 6, and now 7 is beyond me. He doesn't look like he's really killing himself there to try and rejuvenate himself. He's not letting his jaw hang open, Jim. There's Dwight Davison, another one of Don King's fighters. Don has several champions sign up, and a lot of the up-and-coming fellows. You'll be seeing them all on the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. We're going to have an awful lot of boxing for you in coming months and coming years. Don King will make this a success, and it's kids like him. Here's the scene, a very casual fan looking on at the Playboy Hotel and Casino, and this is the scene in the ring. It's not a casual scene there, Jimmy Brown.
Not at all.
Here we go, round number 8. Leon Spinks, Poison Ivy Brown. Spinks controlling the first, I'd say 2 or 3 rounds. Then it sort of evened out a bit. Both fighters very tough.
You know what's happened in this fight, Bob? Leon was going to try for a knockout. He hit Ivy with everything that he could hit him with. Saw that it was not going to be easy to knock him out. Took instructions from his corner to go on, build up points, and maybe in the last round go for a knockout.
Another thing we should point out, Jimmy, of course, while this is a very interesting fight, the real reason we're here, the WBC Cruiserweight Championship of the World, Carlos Sugar De Leon against Marvin Camel, a fight of bad blood. De Leon the champion, Marvin Camel was the first Cruiserweight champ. Lost the title to De Leon 15 months ago, but right now we got plenty of fighting right here. Poison Ivy doing some trucking of his own. Seesaw exchange that needs no explanation from us.
Not at all. All you have to do is watch this. Brown actually made Leon fight by attacking him. So when he got attacked, he had to fight out of it, which this is what he did.
And what he does best. Leon's still trying to work those body shots. To a lesser opponent, they'd have been off their feet by now with body shots like that.
Definitely.
The longer this fight goes on, the more impressed I am with the courage and stamina of the 31-year-old Ivy Brown.
So both of these men are courageous.
Don King knew what he was doing. Put this one together.
Oh, yes.
Guy's a genius. Who's going to get arm weary first? Closing seconds now, round 8. There's Leon going to his corner. Certainly a little bit more fatigued. With us now, Jim Brown, of course, right here. You all know him, and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Eddie, your comments. You've been in there. You know what it's like.
Well, Leon Spinks, as we all know, has the heart of a bull. He'll fight from round 1 to round 10, or from round 1 to round 15, as he saw him when he fought Muhammad Ali. Leon Spinks will be in there from the bell say ding to the bell says down. He'll be hanging in, but so will Ivy Brown.
What makes a guy go at this stage when you're so tired? You need that second win, and sometimes you can get it, and sometimes it's so difficult to continue.
Knowing you can get a shot at a world championship.
And that's what you're looking for, huh, babe?
What Jimmy just said, and that's what Eddie Mustafa is looking for.
I'm going to tease him because, you know, Leon has a brother called Michael. And Eddie wants him. And I want to be there.
All right. We will be there, Jim. Here we go, round 9. Once again, back to his earlier strategy is Ivy Brown. Trying to hit and move, keeps things off him. Leon, when he gets hit, something ignites him.
Yes. It's like when you hit a lion or mess with a lion. They go wild on you.
Like a New York Giant linebacker hitting a number 32 from the Cleveland Browns. A lot of guys cruised off of you, Jim.
Well, turn that around. Number 32 hitting a giant linebacker that goes wild, like Sam Up.
That's it.
Watch your head, Leon. Watch your head. There's armor.
We got a war in the ring here. Leon Spinks dropping down to this cruiserweight division. Really working for us. Now Leon's back against the ropes.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Brown is some tough cookie. He's taking it all, Jim.
Turn it up.
Yes, he is, Bob.
Leon's getting some tags on him, too. Look at his eyes. He's very puffy. What a war. What can you say?
Just watch. That's all we can do, baby.
Leon kind of looked over and winked at you, Jimmy. I don't know what that means.
No, he didn't wink. I think he was looking for a little instructions out here.
Leon Spinks is puffy beneath both eyes. Neither fighter again has been off his feet to this point. And we are in round number 9. A brutal battle. And a great effort by two courageous athletes.
You know, Bob, because of the fatigue factor, it's a matter of taking turns now. It's not the other fighter, it's how much stamina you have to punch.
Almost the whole fight's been that way, a seesaw battle. One guy takes the lead, then the other guy will take the lead. The guy with the biggest heart will win this fight, Jimmy. The guy with the biggest heart. Well, it's all going to be on the line in round 10. Jim, as you look into the corner of Ivy Brown, who do you think is winning the fight?
Well, I think because Leon is a sentimental favorite, he will probably have an edge. But when I looked at Eddie Mustafa said it was even. I am not an expert in the field of boxing. I'm not a judge. But I think that this last round is probably going to determine the outcome of this fight.
The guy that establishes him. Again, we'll recap. It was Leon in the first couple rounds anyway. Then it was very difficult to score throughout, let's say, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I thought certainly Brown looked very impressive in round 8, round 9. Another one of those difficult rounds to score. But judges don't give even rounds very, very often.
Especially when you have to deal in New Jersey. But I think the thing about Brown is that a lot of his punches were shorter. And to the amateur, they would not look like they were impressive, but to the professional judge, they would be impressive.
We're at the Playboy Hotel and Casino for the Leon Spinks Ivy Brown cruiserweight fight. I'm Bob Sheridan, with me Jimmy Brown and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Watch this action. Jimmy, I had all I could do not to jump through my mouth into my microphone there. I had to let that one play.
Gotta let it play. Gotta let it play. They can see it.
Now the heart factor plays in. They're both put out in that exchange. Who's going to have the most left for the last minute and a half? Fatigue's a factor here in the closing minute. Just a war, Jim.
What a battle.
Unreal.
.40 seconds remaining. Two guys work this hard. You hate to see either man lose, Jimmy.
Very true, but unless something changes, this last round has been Leon.
There'll be no knockout. Super effort, and the crowd absolutely loved it. A standing ovation by the crowd. Leon Spinks fought his heart out. We'll have the decision for you momentarily. A very fatigued Leon Spinks. We're just waiting for the decision. Poison Ivy Brown, who came to fight, and Jim Brown, he really put on some show. Just waiting for the decision. Two very, very tired gentlemen. Jimmy, I feel drained after that one.
Yes, that was a tremendous fight. I mean, the courage of both men was unbelievable.
I thought it was an excellent fight, a clean fight. Neither fighter was off his feet. Both guys just put out everything they had. One of the best fights I've seen.
Like one of the men in the audience said, that was a monster.
That was. It certainly was a super fight. What a great night for the people that have joined the network, the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network. Really got their money's worth tonight in this opener, I'll tell you. Check out some of this action now, Jim. Ivy slipped one through. Both guys certainly exhausted.
Yes, the onslaught of Leon in the beginning, and then at the end, Ivy came through a little bit.
Ivy really impressed me, Jim. I think Leon may have racked up too many points early, but we'll have to wait because a lot of those rounds that we just couldn't make a decision on will certainly determine the eventual outcome. Look at the way these guys are working. It's got to be close if it's taking this long for the decision. All right, I'm going to talk to Don King, the promoter of this fight. Don, this is just a super night for the kickoff of the Don King Sports and Entertainment Network.
It certainly is, and I just welcome all the cable viewers, those who have not signed up to come on to the monthly program series that we're going to be presenting this year. Hopefully you will hurry up and do so. This is just a sample of what's to come. This is a harbinger, so to speak, and I think it was a super fight. I think both of the fighters put out their 100%, and they both went in there and did a good job, and I'm just so excited about it. We're awaiting the outcome. I'm kind of partial. I think that Leon won this one.
Okay, we're going to go up into the ring. Here's the decision coming up momentarily. He's picking up his mic, and we'll have it for you right now with the ring announcer, Frank Shane.
Here is the voting of the officials. Referee Larry Hazard scores it 6 rounds Spinks, 3 Brown, and 1 even.
Come on, Shane.
Judge William Kostrup scores it 7 rounds Spinks, 2 rounds Brown, 1 round draw. Judge Frank Capricino scores it 8 rounds Spinks, 1 round Brown, 1 round even. The winner by unanimous decision, Leon Spinks. Leon Spinks.
A mighty happy Leon Spinks, and certainly a big win for him, his first night in this division. And who knows, Jimmy, what's ahead now in the cruiserweight division? We've got a super fight coming up, but what a great night for Leon.
Well, I tell you, yes, it's a great night because he had a chance to go 10 rounds. He had one of the toughest fights of his life. He beat a real fine fighter. He showed determination, conditioning, and he also showed the ability